good.
the other game that I'm going to convince you to go and buy now is the Tourist. Either of you played that yet?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
No, but
I'm already
I've been
halfway there.
I was going to say I'm desperate for someone to persuade me to buy this game. So
It's so good. It's released at the most perfect time of the year, coming out in the sort of depths of winter when it's cold and dark outside. So it's like going on your dream holiday if you play this game. You just rock up on an island and you've just...
So it's Switch only, by the way, isn't it? This is just Switch.
Yeah, because it's Shinen Multimedia who just make Nintendo
those
games.
guys.
They're a 3DS Wii U developer. I think they have done a game which has been out on PS4, but they're generally a second-party Nintendo developer.
Right, okay.
And it's such a Nintendo game. It's the first-party quality to this game. It looks, well, I mean, you know what it looks like. It looks incredible.
Yeah.
It runs at a locked 60 frames per second. It just looks so good on the Switch's screen because it's just the art style they've chosen. It just looks fine in the lower res that the Switch can do, or even on handheld. It looks brilliant. And the lighting, the depth of field effects, it looks very similar to Link's Awakening, but it runs far, far better. It's amazing that you kind of think this feels like the quality, the polished level of it. It feels like a first-party Nintendo game. And the fact that it runs better than some first-party Nintendo games that have come out this year just says how well Shinen do as a developer with the Switch.
So what's the story in it? Is there any story?
There is I mean, the premise is you rock up at the island. Very quickly you find your way into this ancient monument that's on the island. There's a guy inside it that sort of sets you off to find more monuments and to retrieve something from them on different islands. And you just basically you keep finding maps. You go to a new island. You solve the puzzles. There's a bit of exploration, talking to people, some side quests, some. The monuments themselves are kind of like small dungeons. It's a very, very Nintendo-esque, particularly very Zelda sort of style game where you've got kind of open world islands to explore. You've got people to talk to on them, and they send you off to retrieve things for them or do things for them or just general quests. You've got the dungeons. There are bosses at the end of each one. Some are more boss-like than others. Some are just more kind of elaborate puzzles to solve. But it's great. The puzzles and the challenges, there's not real much challenge to it. Some of the puzzles can be quite tricky. Some can be a bit confusing as to what they're actually asking you to do. But generally, they're all quite straightforward. It's just a very... I mean, the game, it probably takes about 6 or 7 hours to complete. So it's another one that you can pick up, play through very quickly. I think it's just the charm that it has. It's a funny game to play. The things that characters come out with, the things you have to do are quite funny. There's one island you go to, and there's a DJ trying to sort of organise a rave, and everyone's kind of dancing on the dance floor, and they're not really feeling it. And your job is to just make the party really epic. So you have to just go around and find things to do to make this party even better and stuff. And it's you kind of. Again, it's not complicated how to do it. The solution to that, but it's just it makes you smile what you're doing, and it's it's really funny watching the impact of your actions because everything you have you can kind of interact with. Every sort of sun lounger you see, you can just sit on and just sunbathe. So it's you can go in people's houses and look in their cupboards and get find money in their cupboards. So it's a very kind of Zelda-esque type thing. I'd love to see Nintendo say to Shinen, well, make a game like this, but make it a Zelda game, and then more people would play it, and it was. That's the biggest compliment I can pay it, I guess.
That's a huge compliment. Looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
I think I've 100% for best part 20 quid. What was it, 18 quid? To throw that money into something that's going to give me that sort of experience, it's worth it, definitely. Especially when, like you said, Link's Awakening was it ran like hot trash, and that was a 45 quid game. So I think I could live with part of my way for £18 to have that sort of experience.
Yeah, it doesn't ask too much of your time. It packs so much in. There's so many different varieties of gameplay, so as well as the exploring, the sort of quests, the dungeons, the puzzles. There's loads of mini games. There's canoeing section. There's a football penalty section. There's spelunking bit, exploring some caves. You go exploring. So there's so much variety of different locations and things to do in them that it just packs so much in that it doesn't feel like a short 6-hour game. It feels like when you think back all the things you do in the game, you kind of feel feels a lot. There's no filler or padding. There's just so much packed into it. And my only criticism of the game is that I wish there was more to it. It's it's so enjoyable that you kind of wish the environments, the islands were bigger and there was more to do on them, and there was more people to talk to, and there was bigger. The monuments were larger and more complex to explore. But then you kind of just have to remember this is an indie game that's a small team that's made it, and I think the polish of it makes you feel like you're playing a bigger game, and you kind of it surprises you that it is quite small. So you kind of do have to always remember that no, this is a kind of small team effort, and it's absolutely remarkable what they've pulled off.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that rave about it.
This is definitely, I think it's definitely on top of my list now for next eShop purchase. I mean, Shiddin have got a lot of goodwill with me anyway, like ever since Fast RMX, which is a game I still go back to, and I got that the first day I got the Switch. And with the Touryst, just looks fantastic. I don't know how they've managed so much.
Yeah, I was going to say on the latest, sorry mate, on the latest Desert Island Cart, they were talking about obviously Shiddin and exactly how that game stood up so well, and the size of the downloads as well.
Oh, it was 900 meg.
Yeah, how good they are at compressing these games. It's just insane.
It is Nintendo-esque in a way, how they've managed to compress it so much. They seem to... I don't know how they do it. It's witchcraft.
Insane. Germans. Goddamn Germans.
They're German?
Clever.
No way.
I think so, yeah.
Wow,
Sure they are.
Yeah.
Sure they've got a headquarters in Munich.
Yeah, it's a German game.
Yeah. Wow, cool.
Yeah, no, top game, and another really one that you can just play through really quickly, one and done, enjoy it in a couple of sittings, and just walk away without. You never kind of outstays its welcome or gets on your nerves because it's just so quick, and that classic Nintendo thing that it introduces new ideas and then straight away it's on to the next one, or it gives you a kind of a new gameplay mechanic. Have fun with that, move on to the next one. It's great.